at 10.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Tim Seaman.
And I'm Sophie Erber. It's been talked about for weeks, and finally, both presidential candidates came together on the same stage in what could be the only debate before November 5th.
A recap now from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, where it all wrapped up just moments ago. It's our top story tonight at 10 o'clock.
We're in what's called the spin room. This is where both campaigns and their surrogates have been talking to reporters after what we saw tonight, the first debate between Harris and Trump.
Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump facing off for the first time in the ABC News debate. The two shaking hands, meeting each other for the first time.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Both candidates asked about the top issues for voters, according to ABC News polling, the economy and inflation.
We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases.
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy.
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run.
Abortion rights, another major issue in this race.
One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
Each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it.
Trump going after Harris.
I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
Harris attacking Trump.
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. Not afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election.
We are now in the final sprint to November. This may be the only debate between Harris and Trump. Election Day is 8 weeks away from tonight. Terry Russell, ABC News, Philadelphia.
And all around Siouxland this evening, different types of watch parties where people came together to watch the debate tonight. And that included one local labor union hall here in Sioux City. Democrats throughout Siouxland gathering to watch the debate. And tonight saying that they would hope to learn more about those candidates as they spoke to the nation. Folks today at this meeting said they were happy to be with a group of like-minded people.
I am expecting fireworks in like the best way. I think we're all here really excited to support Kamala Harris and see her just mop the floor with Donald Trump, quite honestly. She's a prosecutor and she has the experience that is needed in this type of high pressure situation.
Republicans told us that they did not have a watch party tonight. The GOP co-chair saying that there was a different event scheduled this evening. The co-chair, Susan Stewart, also telling us that she hoped that people would learn from those candidates this evening.
And the Nebraska Secretary of State announces the presidential and vice presidential candidates that will be on the November 5th ballot in the Cornhusker state are as follows. For the Republican Party, it is former President Trump and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. On the Democratic side, it is Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. For the Libertarian Party, it's presidential candidate Chase Oliver and vice presidential candidate Mike Termat. Now, the Legal Marijuana Now party has Cornel West for president and Melina Abdullah as the vice president on the ballot. Finally, Jill Stein will appear as the presidential candidate and Samson Kaptnow will be on the ballot as a VP candidate. And in local elections, tonight a few Northwest Iowa communities held some special elections. So let's take a look at some of those unofficial results.
And we'll get started in Emmetsburg, where voters said no to giving the community school district the option to increase its debt levy to $4.05 per $1,000 of taxable property value. If voters go to the polls in November and pass a nearly $30 million general obligation bond to build a new elementary school, they will not be able to do it through that increase in that tax. Tonight's vote was the first in what is that two-step process.
Over in the West Lyon Community School District, voters said yes to continuing the voter-approved physical plant and equipment levy. That currently is 67 cents per $1,000 of assessed valuation. Now, the funding would go through the year 2035. The levy is voted on every 10 years, with the current one set to expire in June of next year.
Meanwhile, there were 2 special elections in Sioux County here in Iowa. Voters in the city of Hotspurs approved a change in how the city's 1% local sales and service tax will be appropriated, I should say. But that goes into effect January 1st. While Roger Gorgon won the race for mayor in Granville, and Dustin DeWild picking up a city council race in the same community.
The Iowa Supreme Court will decide tomorrow on whether or not 3 Libertarian candidates will be on that ballot in November. Justices heard arguments today from lawyers of the candidates and the state objection panel. This is all over the weekend ruling by a Polk County district judge agreeing with the panel that these candidates, including 4th District congressional candidate Charles Aldrich, cannot be on the ballot. Now, the panel alleges the Libertarian Party of Iowa did not follow state rules when it came to holding the county conventions the same day as the caucuses. Attorneys on both sides giving their arguments to the justices.
Every Iowan who wants to write in Marco Battaglia's name or Nicholas Gluba's name or Charles Aldrich's name can do that. And they can vote on all the races that they want to. This is about how do you as a candidate have access to the general election ballot.
I just think it's not this process that the objectors chose. I mean, I think when we talk about fundamental rights arguments, we can talk about ticky-tack violations because the Libertarian Party was told that the objection was that they had not, in fact, held a convention.
The Iowa Supreme Court says it plans to issue a decision on this matter before 11:59 p.m. tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Nebraska's Supreme Court is considering whether residents of the state should be able to vote on the issue of private school educational funding. A law recently passed by the state unicameral provides taxpayer money for private school tuition. Organizers of Support Our Schools gathered more than 86,000 signatures to put that law on the November ballot, but the parent of a Nebraska school student filed suit over that issue. Last week, the Supreme Court agreed to take the matter under consideration, acknowledging that September 13th is the deadline for finalizing the Nebraska ballot.
The Bartling case specifically talks about immense appropriations being subject to a referendum. This is not an immense appropriation, and we therefore see it as unfit for the ballot.
We are talking about a novel scholarship program here that has never existed before. If this is properly repealed, we'll just revert back to the status quo. I don't see how the government will be crippled by a repeal of this enactment.
Nebraska is one of several states to legislate private school scholarship programs recently. Arkansas, Iowa, and South Carolina approved some form of private school choice, from vouchers to education savings account programs.
A 14-year-old has been arrested after a school shooting in Omaha, Nebraska tonight. The incident critically injured a 15-year-old boy at Omaha Northwest High. He's now in stable condition. A school resource officer reported the shooting during the lunch hour. That was around 12:30 this afternoon. Authorities say they found the injured teen inside the building. Police say they believe this shooting was an isolated incident just between those 2 students. Multiple other high schools, though, on lockdown for a period of time out of an abundance of caution.
One person has been injured and a cat has died following a trailer house fire in North Sioux City. Fire officials say they got that call about 4 this afternoon and found a residence at 36 Cott Drive fully engulfed. Assistant Fire Chief Jim Christensen says that when firefighters arrived, the front part of the trailer and a shed were ablaze. A man was found lying on the ground with possible back burns. Fire officials say that 2 people were inside sleeping when that fire broke out. A man tried to put that fire out, and a woman left the residence unharmed. The fire was finally put out by fire officials. It damaged some of the surrounding trailers as well. A cat was found dead inside that trailer, which is deemed a total loss tonight. Officials say that the cause of that fire was a cigarette butt left in a flower pot.
We have an update today from the Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center Authority indicating there are many warranty issues to be resolved inside that building still. Owners Rep. Shane Albrecht identified 10 pages of, quote, warranty issues the builders will have 1 year to fix. Meanwhile, public transportation to and from that facility located on the city's far north side also raising some eyebrows tonight. Sioux City Transit currently does not have a route that runs near the new jail. And according to the Woodbury County Sheriff Chad Sheehan, the city transportation director has indicated there are no plans to provide transportation to that area. Nearest locations right now are 7th and Lewis or at Walmart on Floyd Boulevard. Sheehan says when prisoners are released, he expects many to be walking back towards downtown.
But once they're out our door, they are in the city of Sioux City. So the police department, I would assume, will have an increase of call volume if there isn't some route of public transportation figured out between now and then.
Sheehan adds that he was told about the addition of a part-time route and that it would cost several $100,000 if it were to run. The issue was first discussed back in 2020, according to Moore. To be continued, certainly.
And Chief Meteorologist Victor Perez joins us now, and pretty lovely night outside tonight.
Absolutely pleasant. A little bit surprising because it was a warm day.
Yeah, we started off pretty warm, but we'll see that conditions are going to be cooling off through the evening hours thanks to clearing skies, but we won't be having as brisk of an evening as we have had for some of those other mornings as we drop down well into the 50s and 40s. Looking out from Cherokee right now, we'll see quiet conditions out in Siouxland with temperatures that have currently been reported at 66 degrees. Need and rain for Siouxland, but until then, it's looking like we're still staying dry for the region.
Still staying dry, and it hasn't been an issue all summer because of all the rain, but I'm starting to think about bonfires and more fall-like things. It could be an issue soon.
Yeah, we have not had to really worry about red flag warnings this year, which has been great, but we could as drought reappears in Siouxland.
Thanks, Victor.
All right, thanks. Still to come tonight at 10, the numbers are in for the latest Mega Millions drawing.
We'll say it again. If you played, get those tickets out. We'll tell you what those winning numbers were for the estimated jackpot of $800 million coming up. But first, a Korean War veteran doing something he never thought he would. He's surfing. How he was able to do that next in Veterans Voices.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Tim Seaman, Sophie Erber, Chief Meteorologist Victor Perez, and Sports Director Anthony Mitchell. This is KCAU 9 News at 10.
Welcome back. A Korean War veteran from South Dakota recently got the experience of a lifetime to go surfing.
Most people haven't done that, never mind veterans. It's something 89-year-old Lester London says he had never done before or even thought he could after getting injured especially. Reporter Don Jorgensen takes us on his journey to the water in this week's edition of Veterans Voices.
It was a hero's welcome when 89-year-old Lester London of Sioux Falls arrived in San Diego for the VA National Sports Clinic. London is an Army veteran who served from 1954 to 1956 as an engineer. He lost his leg in a farming accident right after he came home from the Army.
Of course, I was helping Dad put up silage and got caught in the machinery.
Decades later, London is now getting a chance to go surfing, something he never thought possible, especially after losing his leg.
No, I never thought I'd ever get to surf. You know, my notion of surfing is watching it on TV and you see them waves rolling over and you think, no, I'll never do that.
But with the help of the staff at the VA National Sports Clinic, London got on a surfboard, on his stomach, and hit the waves.
Seemed like I just took off. Man, oh man, that was really going.
London says it was a thrill of a lifetime. He says he wasn't thinking about anything else, not even his disability.
No, I wasn't. I was thinking about how much fun this is, and I'm just sailing along. The water is just giving me a push.
London has this advice to other disabled vets.
I would say just let yourself go. Give it a try.
No matter how old or young you are.
I am 89, and but today I don't feel that like I'm 89.
Again, that's Don Jorgensen reporting a lesson for everybody, perhaps, there.
Pretty awesome.
Well, the numbers are in, as we mentioned, for tonight's Mega Millions drawing. The estimated jackpot, $800 million.
Get your lottery tickets out if you got one, and let's see if you're a winner. Those white balls tonight were 1, 2, 16, 24, 66, and the gold mega ball is 6. Megaplier 4 times. The winner, of course, always has those 2 options, but the one everyone's interested in, what would that lump sum payment be? Tonight, if one person wins, $404.2 million.
We'll see tomorrow. We'll find out.
We will see.
Anthony joins us now. What's up outside?
That's right, a Battle of Nebraska in Lincoln. The Huskers hosting Creighton volleyball, plus a big night of high school action right here in Siouxland on the Hardwood. We'll have our local roundup coming right up after the break.
We had this morning.
All right. Thanks, Victor. And thank you for being with us tonight.
That's right. We'll see you here tomorrow for Wednesday. Good night for now.